John forgot to pay his $408 income tax on time. The IRS charged a penalty of 5% for 9 months. That the money was late, and find the penalty that was paid. Okay, so let's see what we're working with here. We have a principal amount of $408. That's the starting amount when the penalty was assessed. The IRS charged a penalty of 5% for 9 months. Find the penalty that was paid. So be careful here. We're not asked for the total amount that John owes. We're not looking for the future value. We're just looking for the penalty that was paid. So the penalty is the 5%. So that's interest. So we're looking for interest. Okay, so the principal amount is $408. The interest rate, the annual interest rate, is given as 5% or 0.05. And the time, well, the time is 9 months. So it's very important that time is always measured in years. We have to be consistent. So if we're going to use the same formula for every problem, we have to be consistent. We can't use months in one problem and days in another and weeks in another, years in another. It's just we use years across the board. So how many years is 9 months? Well, it's 9 months out of the 12 months in a year. So that's 3/4 of a year, or 0.75. 9 divided by 12 is 0.75. And we're looking for the penalty, which is the amount of interest. Okay, so there's only one formula that has a P, R, T, and I. So that's I equals P times R times T. Okay, interest amount equals principal times rate times time. And I discussed this on the previous video. Okay, so let's plug in our numbers. Interest equals 408, which is the principal, times 0.05, which is the annual interest rate, times the time, which is 0.75, or 3/4 of a year. Okay? So this is a job for the calculator. So we'll do interest equals principal, 408, times the rate, 0.05, times the time, which is 0.75. Okay, and that's it. $1,530. $1,530. Okay. I think the calculations are the easy part of the problem. And especially as we cover more and more sections and compile more and more different formulas to work with, you have to choose the correct formula and then plug in the numbers. And once you figure out exactly what formula to use, that's usually the most confusing part of a problem. All right, number 3. Cedric wants to deposit money into a 36-month CD. Okay, so immediately, 36 months, well, there's 12 months in a year, so 12, 24, 36. That's 3 years. So time is equal to 3. So he wants to deposit money today to ensure that he has a balance of $2,500 when the CD is over. CD stands for Certificate of Deposit. It's basically a savings account. So the difference between a regular savings account and a CD is that a CD pays you a higher interest rate. So you make more money with a CD, but that money is locked in for the entire term. So in this case, it's a 36-month or 3-year CD. You deposit your money today, you can't touch it for 3 years. And because you can't touch it for 3 years, you earn a higher interest rate. You make more money on it than if it was in a regular savings account. Okay, the bank pays 2.75%. So we'll have to convert that to a decimal. So we'll divide by 100, or we'll move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So the annual interest rate is 0.0275. And so he wants a balance of $2,500 when the CD is over. So that's the future value. And the question is, how much must he invest today? Okay, so how much does he have to start the account with? So that's the principal value. Okay, so we have A, we have R, we have T, and we're looking for P. And the only formula that has these 4 letters in it and no other letters is the future value for simple interest. A equals P times 1 plus R times T. So we could plug in our values. Future value we know, 2,500. P is what we don't know. And parentheses 1 plus the rate, 0.0275, times the time, which is 3. Okay, so we have to solve this equation for P. What we could do is we could work with this. Let's figure out this number. So we'll pop that into the calculator. We'll figure out 1 plus 0.0275 times 3. And for that, we'll use Desmos as always. Okay, 1 plus 0.0275 times 3. Okay, so that's 1.0825. So that's what's inside the parentheses, 1.0825. Okay, now we have to solve for P. And so what we have here is multiplication. So we'll reverse it by using division. So let's divide both sides by 1.0825. Okay, so on the right-hand side, these numbers cancel. And on the left, well, again, let's use Desmos for this. 2,500 divided by 1.0825. Now, before we even solve the problem, you have somewhat of an idea what the answer should look like. So if you want your money to grow to 2,500, before we even start solving the problem, if you want your money to grow to 2,500, you know that you should be starting with something less. So if you get a final answer of something more than 2,500, you know you've done something wrong. Okay, so we'll do 2,500 divided by 1.0825. Okay, let's start a new line. $2,500 divided by 1.0825. So, and we'll round this to the nearest penny. So 2 decimal places. So it looks like $2,309.47. So that third decimal place is an 8. So we'll have to round that 6 up to a 7. So 2309.47. Okay, so that does it for number 3.